540 WAUK, Milwaukee's real news and great conversation. And now on your FM dial at 100.3. Here's your Daily News Roundup.
With local news on 540 WAUK on 100.3 FM, I'm Stuart J. Waddles. Milwaukee County is set to get part of more than $31 million in new state and federal transportation funding. It includes money to replace aging buses, improve traffic signals, and make bus travel easier on Teutonia Avenue. Governor Tony Evers and the DOT says the projects are meant to cut traffic delays and improve air quality. In Milwaukee, the plan includes replacing 30 diesel buses, adding equipment to 77 buses, and improving signals at more than 30 intersections. The city will also add boarding bus islands and pedestrian upgrades along 2 miles of North Teutonia Avenue. A Milwaukee man will spend 30 years in federal prison after a jury found that he forced a woman into sex acts and set fire to a home where she sought help. Prosecutors say Bobby McNeil used threats, force, and fraud to control the woman on Milwaukee's South Side in 2021 and 2022. They say he later threw a Molotov cocktail into the home of someone who tried to help her escape. McNeil was convicted of sex trafficking, arson, firearm, and prostitution-related charges and will face 5 years of supervised release after prison. It's all news all morning from 540 WAUK on 100.3 FM. Democrat Mitchell Berman is bringing Congressman Mark Pocan to southeastern Wisconsin today for campaign stops. The visits are at Democratic Party offices in Racine, Kenosha, and Janesville. Berman's campaign says Republican incumbent Brian Stile has put wealthy donors and special interests ahead of local families. Stile is seeking a 5th term, while Berman recently won a crowded Democratic primary. Berman's campaign says its polling shows a 1-point race. Stile won the district by about 10 points in 2024 and remains a favorite in the Republican-leaning seat. Milwaukee is set to add a new public memorial honoring civil rights leader Vel R. Phillips today. The city will unveil the artwork called I Didn't Do It Alone at the Vel R. Phillips Plaza downtown. The artist's installation includes stone sculptures, a bronze desk, and an empty bronze chair. Milwaukee is receiving low marks when it comes to being the ideal place for pets. Finance website Wallet Hub recently ranked the 100 biggest cities in the U.S. based on pet friendliness, using nearly 24 metrics. It includes health and wellness and access to the outdoors. The Bruce City ranked 3rd from the bottom, receiving its highest rating of 56 in the pet budget category. Madison was ranked 47th overall. And that's the local update. It's all news all morning, 6 to 9 on 540 WAUK on 100.3 FM. News anytime at WAUKradio.com. I'm Stuart J. Waddles.
For Civic Media News, I'm Connie Fellman. A child is dead after being hit by a car in Taylor County. Authorities received a report of the incident earlier this week in the town of Aurora. An investigation shows a vehicle traveling northbound hit the 8-year-old when they stepped into the road to check the mailbox. The child was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver and other people in the car were not injured. Green Bay's longest-serving mayor is taking another run at it. In a news conference earlier this week, former Mayor Jim Schmidt announced plans to run in the April 2027 election. Schmidt previously served as Green Bay mayor from 2003 to 2019. Schmidt says he plans to fight homelessness in the city, make home ownership easier, cut red tape for development, and improve education. Current Green Bay Mayor Eric Genrich says he hasn't yet decided if he will seek a 3rd term. A new ordinance proposed to the Winnebago County Board is looking to stop the expansion of license plate reader cameras in the county. The ordinance asks the board to pass a law that would reduce law enforcement's access to the cameras. The proposal says the cameras would only be allowed for parking enforcement, access to controlled areas, and way stations, with data being deleted after 90 days. Winnebago County Sheriff John Motz wants to keep his department's 15 flock cameras, adding the tech has helped track down carjackers, child exploitation suspects, and more. The proposal is set to be reviewed by the Winnebago County Board's Judicial and Safety Committee. The Appleton Common Council has voted to allow a rally for women's rights to proceed next week. The decision comes after the organizers missed the deadline to apply for a permit. The event is hosted by Appleton Area Now, a group focused on women's rights and eliminating discrimination. Several city departments had already signed off on the event, with council members voting to grant a waiver and allow it to move forward. It's set to take place at Houdini Plaza next Wednesday at 4:30 in the afternoon. The National Weather Service confirms a tornado touched down near Milwaukee earlier this week. The EF0 tornado's path was about a half-mile long, and peak winds reached 80 miles an hour. Strong, straight-line winds did cause much of the damage across the region during Tuesday's severe weather outbreak. A large tree fell onto a pizza place on Milwaukee's west side, forcing the business to close until further notice. Power outages continued for a couple of days, mostly in Milwaukee and Waukesha counties. A number of law enforcement agencies in western Wisconsin are warning residents of an ongoing phone scam. According to a press release from the Dunn, Trempealeau, and Buffalo County Sheriff's offices, residents have been receiving calls from scammers who claim to be members of law enforcement agencies, requesting money to have a family member released from jail. Law enforcement authorities are advising residents not to provide any personal information and hang up if they receive a call like that. Then, contact the agency directly to verify the claims. The Green Bay Common Council has approved a $750,000 grant match for the shipyard redevelopment project. It comes after the EPA awarded the city an extra $2.15 million in grant funding for the project. The total received is now at more than $7 million. The project aims to turn the vacated brownfield into a destination of recreation and tourism, including a floating dock, fishing pier, a lawn for concerts, dog park, a playground, a splash pad, and a commercial plaza. The next phase of the project is scheduled to be completed by 2027. The City of Wausau's Plan Commission has approved a conditional use permit for an assisted living facility in downtown Wausau. The facility would complement Grant Place, a 70-story 55 and older apartment complex being built on the former Grable site. The facility will have 25 units and be built at 151 McKindo Street. And that's your state news update. I'm Connie Fellman for Civic Media News.
Brewer baseball this afternoon. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports, where the Brewers have a late afternoon start against the Atlanta Braves. Jacob Mizorowski on the mound from Milwaukee. The Crew with a 7-4 win over the Mariners yesterday to take that series 2-1. NFL Packers tonight in Denver against the Broncos. GM Brian Gutekunst says he's excited to see running back Marshawn Lloyd off to a good start this camp after 2 years of injuries.
You know, when players miss time, that's tough. That's tough on these guys. They're young guys, and they want to be out there so badly. When they get out there and they're playing football, they're usually at their happiest. He's doing a great job with his opportunities. I think he's got a chance to help us this year.
In Madison, Mike Tressel asked where the Badgers defense has improved this year.
You know, I feel really good about the front four in terms of depth. I think we can really keep them fresh, which is critical. I mean, it's great to be bigger and stronger and longer and all that stuff, but if you're tired up there, you know, fatigue makes cowards of us all.
That's Badgers defensive coordinator Mike Tressel with Sports on Mike Clemens.
Mostly cloudy with a slight chance of showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm today, high in the upper 70s to near 80. Tonight, some evening showers or thunder showers, then clearing with a low of 62. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with an isolated shower in the afternoon and a high of 77. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable.
That's your Milwaukee News Roundup from WAUK. Find more news anytime at WAUKradio.com/news. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts.